You think this phone is yours, kid? The voice sliced through the hallway like a blade. Officer Rick Barnes, towering in uniform, stood inches from Jamal Anderson, his finger jammed toward the teen's chest. Students scattered like leaves in the wind, whispering, watching. Jamal didn't flinch. He just looked up, calm, unblinking behind his glasses. I didn't steal anything, he said quietly. But that wasn't enough. Barnes yanked the phone from Jamal's pocket. Funny. iPhone 14 Pro. Bet your mama didn't buy you this. A pause. Just long enough for the hallway to go silent. Jamal's voice was low, controlled. You shouldn't touch me without cause. That made Barnes snap. Watch that tone. I can cuff you right here if I want. Behind them, a few teachers peeked out of classrooms. One of them, Principal Kim, stepped forward, hesitating. Officer Barnes, maybe we should. He cut her off. This isn't your business. Let me do my job. Jamal looked her in the eye. Is this your idea of protecting students? Something shifted in her face. But Barnes didn't notice. He was already dialing dispatch. What he didn't see, what none of them saw, was Jamal slowly pulling a worn leather card holder from his back pocket. Want to call someone? Jamal asked. Go ahead. But you might want to hear who picks up. Cut to black. Text on screen. He wasn't just a student. He was the son of the most powerful legal voice in the state. Dispatch answered on the first ring. This is Officer Barnes at Lincoln High. I've got a suspect, black male, approximately 16, detained with stolen property. Jamal stood still, not resisting, not retreating. His hands remained loose at his sides. He wasn't afraid. He was calculating. Let me guess, he said, eyes on the phone Barnes had taken. No serial check. No verification. Just assumptions. Barnes snorted. You want to talk big? At your age? From the office window above, a few staff members were watching. One teacher, Mr. Dean, began recording discreetly. Another ushered students away. Jamal took a breath. If you're done humiliating me in front of the entire school, he said, I'd like my phone back. Barnes moved closer, voice low and threatening. You don't tell me when I'm done. I tell you. And until then, you stand there and shut up. Principal Kim tried again. Officer Barnes, please. Maybe we need to confirm ownership before. Back off. Jamal turned slightly and spoke not to Barnes, but to her. Would you like to call my mother? He asked, voice almost too calm. She's at the Capitol today. Committee hearing. Barnes barked a laugh. Your mom works in cleaning at the Capitol. Jamal's eyes locked with his. No. She runs it. For the first time, Barnes blinked. Jamal reached into his backpack, slowly, and pulled out a document with the state seal. Gold embossed. Real. Barnes froze. Jamal's voice cut clean. Melanie Johnson. Attorney General of Georgia. I'm her son. A silence swept the hall like a wave. For a moment, everything was still, like the school itself had stopped breathing. Principal Kim stepped forward, eyes wide, recognizing the name. Wait. Melanie Johnson. Your mother is. The Attorney General, Jamal finished. Yes. Barnes's face paled. He glanced at the gold seal, then back at Jamal like he was seeing him for the first time. His grip loosened on the phone, now clearly shaking. You could have said something sooner, he stammered. Jamal didn't move. Why should I have to? In the background, Mr. Dean was still recording. The crowd of students now hovered near the ends of the hallway, silent, some filming on their phones. Barnes straightened his posture and tried to recover authority. Look, kid, I didn't know. Let's just clear this up. Jamal's voice was razor sharp. You weren't interested in clearing anything. You wanted to make an example. I was doing my job, Barnes snapped defensively. No, Jamal replied, you were proving a point. Just not the one you thought. A staff member approached Principal Kim and whispered something. She nodded, took out her phone, and placed a call, quietly stepping into her office. Tension rippled through the corridor. As Barnes turned away, trying to look busy, Jamal leaned toward him and asked calmly, would you have treated me the same, if I were white? The question hung in the air. Before the officer could answer, a voice crackled over his radio. Officer Barnes, this is Central. We just received a direct call from the AG's office. Stand by for immediate contact. His eyes widened. Jamal finally took back his phone, without permission, without apology. Now, he said quietly, you can shut up. Minutes later, a sleek black SUV pulled up outside the school's front entrance. No sirens. No chaos. Just presence. Out stepped a woman in a navy suit, heels clicking sharply on the polished floor as she entered. Melanie Johnson didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Principal Kim met her at the entrance, flustered. Madam Attorney General, I had no idea. Melanie held up a hand. Where's my son? Jamal appeared at the end of the hallway, calm as ever. Their eyes met, not fear, not even relief, just understanding. She nodded once. He nodded back. Then she turned toward Officer Barnes, who was standing stiffly by the front office, trying not to make eye contact. Officer, she said, tone even, we'll be discussing your conduct with the Police Oversight Commission. My office has already issued a summons. Barnes stammered. Ma'am, I didn't know. That's exactly the problem, she interrupted. You never stopped to ask. You saw skin, not identity. Threat, not student. She handed Principal Kim a thin file. Here's a formal complaint. I expect a written apology from your school, and a full review of security protocol. We are not here for revenge. We are here for reform. Then she looked around the hallway, eyes sweeping the stunned students, teachers, and silent walls. Every child in this building deserves dignity, she said. Even when no one is recording. As she turned to leave, she handed her son a slim envelope. Jamal opened it and smiled slightly. An internship offer. From her office. Not because he was her son, but because he had proven something most never get the chance to show. Poise under pressure. The next morning, Jamal returned to school like nothing happened. No special escort. No press. Just him, backpack slung over one shoulder, walking the same hall where he had been humiliated. But something had changed. Students nodded as he passed. A few whispered. Others stared with a mix of awe and guilt. Even Mr. Dean gave him a quiet thumbs up. On the bulletin board by the main office, a new flyer had appeared. Know Your Rights, Student and Law Enforcement Policy Update, effective immediately. Officer Barnes was nowhere to be seen. Principal Kim called him into her office later that day. She stood as he entered, hands folded. I want to apologize, she began. Not just for what happened, but for what didn't. I should have stepped in sooner. Jamal simply nodded. Thank you. Before he left, he pinned something to the wall beside her desk. A small card, laminated and neat. Melanie Johnson, Attorney General, Mother. Below it, Jamal had written in pen. You don't have to be loud to be heard. He walked out. As the door closed behind him, Principal Kim stared at the card for a long time. Text fades in at the end of the video. What if no one had recorded that moment? What if no one had listened? Then another line, quietly. Dignity isn't given. It's claimed. Sometimes, the loudest power is silent. Jamal didn't raise his voice. He didn't threaten. He simply knew who he was. And in a world quick to judge by skin, status, or silence, identity is resistance. This racist story reminds us, justice doesn't always arrive with noise, it arrives with presence. The next time you witness a moment like this, ask yourself, will I stay silent too? Or will I recognize the quiet strength in someone before it's too late?